All right, I think let's get going here.
Okay. All right, guys. So first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to this video AMA here on Telegram. We will be doing more of these in the future. We'll even consider maybe on YouTube in the future. Whatever platform, I guess, works the best. I find that Telegram is where the most of our community engage with us, the absolute most. So it might just be best that we do this one, but I figured we'd start here. I'd like to thank everyone for their patience through this. I know no one expected this to happen. No one wanted this to happen. And, it's been challenging, but we remain resolute. And, we're working really on just getting this right back on track and ultimately accomplishing what it is that we set out to do, which is to launch the Monaco Market and provide this safe environment for individuals to be able to trade these types of items. So we're going to provide you guys an update both on the CollectCoin Relaunch and the development of the Monaco Market, because up to this point, just like someone was just saying in the chat, it has just been us saying that we're working on this. We're talking about partnerships, not revealing details. So today we'll be revealing some details about partnerships as well. Give you guys an idea of the marketing that we're going to be doing. Again, there's certain specifics that we can't get into, but we're going to give you as many details as possible because as investors in the project, I think you guys are entitled to know certain things. And then there are probably some prospective investors waiting for the relaunch. I'd like for them to be a little bit informed also and feel incentivized to want to join us, to join the community and, continue this journey with us toward the launch of the Monaco Market. So I guess the first thing I'd like to talk about is the theft itself. I think it was 27 days ago. I was looking at it this morning. We are absolutely still trying to apprehend this group of individuals. We've been working with law enforcement to track the wallets, look at where the funds are going. Largely, it has been laundered through things like Tornado Cash and these like money laundering services. But we may have a lead to potentially get back a significant, let's say 10 or 15% of the hack amount. And we're working with law enforcement for that. I can't get into too many details, but I would say that if anyone in the community works with law enforcement, is familiar with companies that do some of these tracking things. So we're talking to a couple companies that also do that. They try to build these webs and follow all the money. If you have any suggestions, feel free to share them with us. We've tried to do the best that we can these last few weeks to make sure that individuals, that we're doing what we can to get those funds. But, it takes time. And unfortunately, you have to wait for these individuals to make a mistake sometimes. So we're hopeful that we're able to recover those funds. But regardless, that'll take us to the next thing. How are we doing in terms of raising the funds? Because as we've mentioned, we need $1 million, and I think it's $29,000 to restore it exactly as it was when the hack happened. I can say that we're more than halfway there, or about 2/3 the way there, maybe a little bit more than that. But it's not easy to raise $1 million, in air just like that. So I ask for a little bit more patience. I have meetings with people every single day today, tomorrow, the following day, even over the holiday. I was talking to people. One of the reasons why you don't see me as active in the Telegram is because I'm on the phone or on video chat almost all day. And Nick is also doing a lot of work to try to just tap into our network, because we do have pretty big networks to try to raise these funds and go into traditional crypto funds, DAOs that we're friendly with, that we're part of, and just see who it is that can assist us through this time. Because while this did occur, I don't think this is going to be what stops us. This is just, again, it's a bump in the road. We've had them before. Perhaps we may have them again in the future, but we get through them. And it's with the support of the community that we're able to do this, and we're here to be transparent with you guys, make sure that you understand exactly what's happening. And if you have questions, ask them. We're not hiding. We don't, unless you're shilling something else, we don't ban anybody. You may get muted if you're attacking someone else, but you get muted for a day or so. We're not banning anybody. That's not what we're all about. So continuing with that, we'll be giving you guys the contract address today. Now, initially, we planned on airdropping all the tokens, but there's one challenge with that, is that because we're not all the way ready with the liquidity pool, if we give the tokens to everyone rather, someone could add liquidity and kind of mess up the pool on PancakeSwap, and then we'd either have to buy it down or to the right price and then add liquidity, which I think it's an unnecessary complication. And without liquidity, you're going to have situations where people are buying the token at low liquidity rates, and then people are going to get screwed. I mean, it's just, we've already dealt with this, and we're dealing with it now with people that are, there's some folks that are buying the token today, and then they come to us saying like, oh my God, I found out all this information afterward. I'm so sorry that that's happening, and we're doing everything we can to prevent that. Including, look, I thought about burning the rest of the CLCT in the PancakeSwap pool, but at this point, you literally have to buy less than 100 at a time, or maybe 50 or something, to even buy it. So I don't even understand why someone would do that. But we're going to do everything we can to get things launched as soon as possible. We'll give you guys a new contract address. That is the contract that has been audited by Hacken, that it is being audited by Certik. It's not completed yet, but you can go to their website and see that. We've announced these partnerships. We're taking security very, very seriously. And it's really just about making sure that everyone understands that, yes, this happened to us. But this is not going to define us. We will rise from this and a better, stronger company than we were before. So I guess that's most of the updates related to the CollectCoin relaunch. We're targeting the second week of January. I believe that should be okay. Again, if you have not yet checked your balance on the testnet, to make sure you have the right amounts, because again, in preparation for the airdrop, it's from the snapshot. So if you're buying it now, you're not getting the version 2. It's very important that people know that their balances are correct, and if there's any issues, especially from folks that withdrew tokens from the ICO, that you contact. So far, we've been able to resolve everyone's complaints or their issues or what have you. And I continue to think that the snapshot is accurate. We've compared it a couple different ways. And again, we should be back on track very, very soon. Now, moving on to the Monaco market, we have made a significant amount of progress. That has not stopped. It has been slowed down a little bit. We've had to invest other parts of our resources into investigation of the theft, talking to law enforcement, things related to managing the community because of the hack. So there are some aspects that have been slowed down a little bit. We'd love to share with you some of the progress of what the Monaco market is going to look like. Because again, so far, all you guys have just heard what we've said. So now here's an opportunity for everyone to see, what we've been working on. Nick?
Yep, that's great. So give me 1 second. Let me share the screen real quick. All right. And I know probably most of you guys are on the phone, so can you guys see okay though? Or Paul's there?
Yeah, I can see it, so I'm hoping that people are seeing it also.
So there's a lot, just to kind of set the tone a little bit of the conversation. So as Paul says, we have been giving updates around the overall progress of the application, the design, and the implementation. But this is, I would say, the first kind of opportunity where we're going to delve in pretty deeply in terms of the progress itself around the whole user experience of the app, what's anticipated of kind of how everything works and functions, the utility of it, and also just some context around our process. We put a lot of emphasis on the process in terms of the NFT creation itself. So, one of the things that we've been really highlighting on is nobody can just simply list an item on our marketplace. It actually has to go through pretty thorough, extensive authentication process. So that's one of the things I wanted to kind of highlight first before we get into the main flow. So as you can see here, all of these designs have actually been developed. So we've made significant progress of the development of the app, so you guys know that. One of the things I wanted to do also was to actually show you the designs versus the actual development, because we haven't actually kind of baked out the full experience in a sense where you're going to get a pretty good inkling of kind of what a filled up experience would look like. So the designs, I think, are going to actually help you guys understand better really what the kind of the full build out experience will look like and function. So this is a back end kind of a flow that us internally will actually utilize as NFTs come into our Rolodex. So for example, if somebody actually requests to create an NFT, we go through this process where they actually have to send it and ship it out to our vault. So essentially, we're going to have a full authentication status process here. So whether if it's currently being shipped or it's being received, and then we got to authenticate it. And we got to make sure that it's in fact the item that we say it is, that it's in the condition that it is. All of these things are actually going on in the back end side through all the NFTs. So that's really important that you guys understand that we're really trying to create a very kind of a solid, almost like a bulletproof flow here, just to make sure that the items are in fact what they are. I don't know, Paul, if you want to add anything to this design while I move on before.
Yeah. No, one of the things that we focus on this marketplace, in addition to the buyers, is what the seller's experience is going to be. Because, that's going to be an important part in getting the right people on board. Someone mentioned in the chat that, sellers want to sell with us after we've been hacked. Well, the reality is, unfortunately, while we have been hacked, this element of the business has nothing to do with that. So it's really about making sure that they feel comfortable in the process flow. And having been a seller myself for 20 years, I know it's important. And especially when you're dealing with these types of items, they want to feel that they can understand where everything is going every step of the way, because they're handing over something of great value and they want to feel secure. So I think having these touch points enables us to, one, remain very organized, but also provide feedback to the sellers so that they understand exactly what's going on with their individual respective items.
That's right. Yeah. And so in order to actually, for any of the items to even get to this stage, everybody that's interacting with our application, so let's say you want to sell something on our marketplace, you'll go through this initial inquiry experience. So here you're going to essentially fill out all the information, categorize which item it is, set up the titles and the descriptions of that item. So everything related to that item, why is it what you say it is, and we give us information around that. Being able to also initially kind of give us a price point to work with, and which of the tokens you'd like to accept. So initially, we're going to be accepting our own CLCT, USD, as well as BNB, and as well as kind of what the benchmarks is for the offer prices as well, including just the kind of traditional or more normal content updates, including imagery and photographs of that item, and any type of documentation that kind of verifies and authenticates that item already from the get-go. So this is literally the flow, the form that we've already created and built out, just so you guys can understand that. And then another thing here, so this is the screen that shows, let's say you have several NFTs that you've actually currently have on our marketplace. So this is your created NFT tab. So here you're going to actually see NFTs that are currently being dropped. Again, these are just mock-ups for the sake of conversations, but it just kind of shows you that we've actually built out a pretty robust, kind of almost like a CMS or content management system. So you as a seller has a pretty good kind of a support and a user experience in terms of how to interact and be able to manage all your NFTs. and also obviously just addressing the mobile view versions. You know, most of the reality is most of the interactions and the transactions are going to be on mobile. So we put a lot of emphasis on really just honestly just putting a really good design for mobile first. So as you can see here, it's going to be very clean and seamless. Here, this is what kind of displays once you have an actual NFT that's been launched live. So you'll be able to list that on the marketplace. Let's see here. And then I'm going to kind of go back a little bit and we'll go into the flow a little bit. So as if you're someone who wants to potentially invest or buy an item on our marketplace. So here, so just so you guys know, once we launch the marketplace, MonacoMarket.co will in fact go to this new drop landing page. So currently we have the marketing site up, but that's going to change. As soon as the marketplace launches, it's going to be this. So, you know, in this case, again, it shows kind of fully baked multiple items or different types of items in different verticals that are currently live that you can directly invest in and delve into deeper. It's going to have information regarding the fact that it's authenticated, who it's listed from, the price, whether if it's an auction or a fixed price, and as well as the time left, if it's appropriate to display that, as well as being able to add or favorite and add that to kind of your NFTs or favorite NFTs on our marketplace, so you can kind of go back to certain items that you're interested in. And then obviously addressing the mobile. So let's say you clicked into an item like a watch. So we've built out this user experience that essentially has a really clean, kind of a very photogenic approach where you can easily navigate through all the galleries of that item, as well as being able to directly make those decisions, whether if you want to buy now or submit an offer. So we'll be very clear that, you know, what the asking price is. So it's going to be right there, when the sale may end. And one of the unique attributes of our marketplace is we're going to have an area where you can actually literally delve in deeper and see specific documentation that essentially supports the authenticity of the item. So whether if it's that BSC scan of the NFT creation itself, documents, it's very common to have authentication documents to these types of items. So for example, this watch is, how much is this worth, Paul, I think, in real life? Okay, I don't think he...
$750,000.
$750,000. So this Rich Camille watch is worth $750,000. Obviously, you're going to want to be able to see that certificate that's authenticated, you know, if you're spending that type of money, right? Potentially, you have the receipt of the purchase, any type of supporting information, content, data that really supports the authenticity. That's really important to us. And just kind of a high level summary of all the different steps that we've taken essentially to validate and verify that item, as well as the history. So if this item gets purchased on our marketplace, you're more than free to sell it back on our marketplace and trade it. So you'll be able to see essentially the lineage, the history of that item, how it's been sold and traded, and who's been involved in that, and the information about that item is as well in here. The mobile view, you know, we're pretty anxious and excited about how it's going to look on mobile. I think it'll be really clean and, you know, just a very, I think, more modern, and I think a little bit better and more presentable than the other marketplaces that we see. We're also building out the search experience. So once you search an item, you'll be able to, let's say you want to just search watches, it'll, you know, specify all the current listings related to watches. We've built out the flows and pop-ups for the buy now modals and the placing offers. So this again shows you, you know, for which coin you want to place an offer in and be able to go ahead and do the transaction. Same with submit offer. And just other, I mean, we have several designs, but I'm just kind of showing you some of the more primary. So for example, if you need to add more coin to your wallet, you know, this is a visualization that shares what, you know, you need to add more in order to actually place a bid. So we'll have all the proper designs in different states to communicate. Let's see here. Paul, is there anything else? I know there's several other things. Oh yeah, this is when you create an account. When you're first time on our marketplace, you'll go through this initial onboarding experience. It's very straightforward. We want to make it as seamless as possible. Two criterias: upload a photo and set up your username. So then that way, at least you have sort of a vision, fairly kind of a nice kind of a surface profile, if you will. So it would look something like this, and once you have it created. Let's see here. I know I went through a lot. Happy to go through questions. There are other designs, but I'm only trying to focus on kind of some of the other primary experiences. This is showing what happens when we have some of our partners, which Paul will get into, when we have larger collections. So let's say we're partnered with a big art dealer or a car dealer. It's not uncommon that they're going to have multiple items for sale just with that one partner. So we're going to be building out these kind of really nice modal experiences that just highlight one partner and then individual drops below that. So just kind of shows you a little bit of a hint and just kind of how we're thinking about whether if they're individual items or we have larger partnership, with multiple collections per partner and how that might be displayed.
I think this is a great start. We're definitely going to be doing more of these kinds of updates just to share with you guys where we are in the progress as we're going toward the launch of the marketplace. So, one major thing with us is, again, that transparency, so you guys can understand exactly what to expect. Is if we're really far along, then we're going to share that we're really far along. Now, the one thing to also understand is, testing, making sure that the website doesn't get hacked is something that even after we finish building it out, it's going to take us a few weeks, of making sure that we test everything properly prior to launch, because there will be no more hacks, as long as we can do everything that we can do to prevent these things, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. And that obviously includes auditing of the Monaco Market contracts, where the NFTs are trading with the NFTs are being transferred with the funds. So these are things. Certik is going to be auditing all of those contracts moving forward. So before we launch, everything will be in place, and we'll be sharing things along the way. So everyone understands that yes, we want the CollectCoin to launch as soon as possible, but there's a lot more behind this. The use case of the coin is the Monaco market. And, some of the designs may change. Things may look a little different. The truth is we're not going to be launching with cars. They're a little bit complex to store.
Yeah.
But we will be dealing with art. We will be dealing with, handbags, watches, trading cards, sports memorabilia. So I guess that'll lead me to the next phase, which is understanding who our partners are. Now, again, I don't want to give the details of exactly who the companies are, because I don't want necessarily some of them are cool with us saying that we're partnered with them, but we're still a couple months away from launching the marketplace. So for us to have an idea of exactly what they're going to be offering, the exact pieces may be more challenging. However, I can share with you a few things. For example, in the handbag space, we have established a partnership with two well-known authenticators for Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and a little bit of Chanel. I don't know that we're going to be dealing with a lot of Chanel initially. So far, the items that I feel have the best investment quality are, Louis Vuitton and Hermes, and you have Chanel raising their prices. And again, I can get into the weeds with this stuff because I really am into the actual assets themselves. But we have a fantastic seller out of Florida in the U.S. That will be providing us with Birkin bags. We're talking to her right now about trying to figure out exactly what the collection will look like, because it's important that she understands who the customers are. Investors, largely men, that all they care about is the bottom line. Can I invest into this and have a reasonable expectation that it will go up in value? Yeah. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what she needs to understand. So talking to that seller, there's another seller that we have, a watch seller in New York City, that is already very crypto forward. that is working with us and understanding exactly what the process flow is like, because every seller has a unique and different kind of concern. You know, if someone's selling really expensive handbags that have, let's say, exotic skins, they're going to be mindful of the shipping. You know, maybe a watch seller in New York City is more concerned about the sales tax and making sure that they understand, well, when that NFT gets redeemed, who's responsible for that? Taking these considerations and, you know, into our process flow helps us build the product itself. We also have a sports memorabilia partnership that we're working on, where interestingly, someone in the comments were asking, are we planning to have any kind of a display component to this? You know, now, first answer is really no, you know, but we are talking to someone now that has a sports memorabilia shop in Louisiana that they don't want people to redeem the NFTs. They want to have it in a case in their store that's beautiful. It could be like a museum kind of experience. There are some other projects that do this. Now, we have to be mindful of where these places are located, because how many people are going to go to those places to maybe look at these items? But the quality of the items is extraordinary. You know, these individuals have some really special pieces, and I think it could be a unique partnership where we do something maybe where the items are vaulted with a different partner. So we're exploring those options right now and trying to structure exactly what that engagement would look like. But make no mistake, you know, we are absolutely looking at how can we scale this, you know, not just having one vault with a few items for the marketplace. This has to be something that eventually can be really big, and that's what we're working toward. So in addition to that, we've got a couple different sellers that are interested in selling trading cards. That's baseball, basketball, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all kinds of trading cards that have extraordinary value, Magic, to some communities. And it's our objective to try to figure out what those cards are, make sure that the right collection is curated, and then offer them to you with the story, so you know what are you buying. You know, that's going to be very important. And then in terms of the marketing, you know, so the marketing, there's going to be two kind of marketing paths. One is related to the relaunch of CollectCoin version 2, and then there's also the marketing for the marketplace itself, making sure that we have marketing partners that will be able to announce our partnerships to new communities, so they understand in the respective verticals that we're working on that we have partnerships, that we have items that we will be offering initially for purchase where one individual owns one NFT, but we will be moving toward fractionalization, because just like this Richard Mille, I don't have $750,000, but I would love to invest into maybe not this watch, but maybe another watch, you know, because there are some fantastic investments out there. And the thing that inhibit individuals from participating is they don't have enough to participate in the whole deal. So just like as we're raising funds, I'm not looking to one person to come save the day. You know, we are looking for an assortment of individuals because they all understand the value of that underlying asset. In that case, it's CollectCoin. In this case, it could be a watch. It could be a handbag. You know, just providing access. And I think that additional liquidity will also increase the value of these items, because now you're making them more accessible. So with that said, we have some new marketing partners that we're going to be working with on social media, Instagram, Twitter, working out exactly what the engagements will look like, and making sure that we're prepared, that we're creating enough content on those respective platforms so they can share, so that we can engage with the communities. And also on Telegram, pushing our Discord more. We were waiting a little bit for the relaunch to kind of do some of these campaigns and just kind of structuring it in a way where we have the best possible launch. That's what this is mostly about. Yep. You know, making sure that we have the right steps in place so that the relaunch is successful and it puts us in the right path to the launch of the marketplace. So some of that will be guerrilla marketing. We may call upon the community to assist us with some things. Some of it, you know, will be influencer driven. We have additional videos, interviews that I'll be conducting, myself and Nick, the whole team, as well as, just additional videos related to the project. So people are aware of what this is, what we're doing. And then, of course, news related to what's going on, what's new. Our intention is to do these video chats, maybe every couple of weeks or as necessary, but making sure that the community is aware of what's going on and you can engage with us, because even though we haven't been in the chat as much as I would like to, because you guys know I like to be in the chat, we've been so busy with so many things. We're getting after it. The funds, some of those funds may have been stolen, but they're not lost. As long as we continue to work the way that we are, they are not lost. And it is our desire to create that value, add that value back.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure. Lewis.
Hey, first, thank you for everything you guys have done and sticking to the project. And I know it must be difficult what you guys have gone through and still going through and still processing it, I guess, and trying to figure it all out. Can you, a simple question that we most may know the answer to, but community will keep asking is, how is the growth of the coin itself attached to the collections, the items that are being bought and sold? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent question. So when we start, as Nick showed, we have to accept not just CollectCoin, because look, if you're trying to buy an item that's $50,000, let alone more, to be able to buy that much, even with $1 million in liquidity, not enough. The price action is going to be insane. So we have to add other options. BNB, the native token of the chain that we're on, and BUSD in case some people want to transact with stable. We have to add that so that someone can buy large items. Now, when we start the platform, there'll be a few different utilizations of the coin. One, there will be a minimum. So any transaction under a certain amount of money must be conducted with CollectCoin. Okay. We haven't yet established what that minimum is, but that's partly because I need to see what are the items that the sellers are actually willing to sell. Now, a watch seller, look, the minimum on a watch might be $5,000. I mean, maybe we find something else that's cheaper that has investment quality. I don't know. But let's say a trading card. There are excellent trading card options out there in the hundreds of dollars that have enough upside that someone would want to sell it, and it's worth kind of the effort to create an NFT for it. So it's about making sure there's options for everyone, that we almost force utility, and two, the sellers, when they accept CollectCoin, they receive a lower fee. Now, if they elect to accept, let's say BUSD as an example, they have to pay their fees in CollectCoin in order to withdraw the BUSD. So all fees get paid in CollectCoin. Now, some more advanced things that we're working on down the line. Actually, no. Before I go to that, there's also going to be the staking that everyone's aware of. You put your coin into the staking pool, and you'll get 1/3 of the transaction fees that are generated on the Monaco Market. And then some more advanced things that we want to do, later on. It's not going to be in the MVP, and it may not be in the second version either, but it will come. Is the ability for sellers to stake their CollectCoin for advertising preferences. So like a higher rank, maybe a box that we have, they'll be able to feature their item there, and it'll be done through staking. And then maybe the small fee is assessed if the transaction takes place, because we're trying to be very seller friendly. That's one thing that I don't think a lot of other projects are being mindful of. They want to create NFTs for all these different things, but you have to create an environment where sellers feel comfortable, one, transacting, two, feeling like there's value in putting your items with these individuals, because it's essentially consignment. They give us the items and we offer them for sale. But because we have custody of them, we got to make that sale. So there are those options, as well as, look, I know everybody's been through a lot. And I have some folks, some friends that are part of DAOs that deal more exclusively in like yield farming and, how to add additional value to liquidity pools. So we're working on kind of strategizing that, but I'll admit, There's a lot of things that are going on right now. So especially with the holiday, some people are away. They're not kind of as engaged. So some of those things may come in the new year and more developments related to that. So I guess I would have more information related to that in the next one. Say, we'll have another one of these in 2 weeks or less. I like this. I like being able to engage with everyone directly. You see us, and we don't have to see you, but we hear you.
And honestly, we're really proud of the work that we've done in terms of the Monaco market, the business development, the progress, the design itself, the development, everything that we just shared with you has been developed. Now, is it final? No, we're still making a lot of progress and finalizing the overall user experience, fine-tuning the details, all that stuff. But we've made significant progress of the actual app development itself. And so that was one of the things we just wanted to really highlight today, is things are still moving along, like Paul's saying. And so hopefully this will help you guys see that.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else have any questions? I'll try to find you, and then if you're not, some people are not muted, but
Paul, I have a question.
Yes.
So, little confused. Is the airdrop happening today or not?
No. So the challenge with the airdrop today, as I mentioned before, is that if we issue the tokens, someone could add liquidity on PancakeSwap and kind of really mess with they could mess with the pricing. 2, now this one's being traded before it should be traded, and the price is not going to get set properly. And then, look, there are people still buying version 1 today. Okay, I still look at it, and I see these transactions, and I wish I could stop it. But, I don't want that to happen with the second version. And then, we have to either buy it down or reissue another token. I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. So today it won't happen. But again, the one thing I would recommend everyone do is use the testnet link that we have. Make sure that the value of the tokens that is on the testnet is the value that you should have. Because as long as those numbers are accurate, when we do the airdrop, we'll do the liquidity, and then we'll do the airdrop maybe a few minutes later because it'll be the airdrop, and we'll add the ability to withdraw your tokens from your time lock wallet. Right now, you're only able to view them because we don't want people to spend gas withdrawing your tokens, and then you're going to have to do it again because we've already compiled the snapshot. So we just did that to just prevent people from, one more complaint, unfortunately, because someone did something that we wish they didn't.
Awesome. And Paul, I had one more follow-up question regarding as we all know, the hack was a very terrible thing that happened to the coin and the community and all. So, I'm sure after seeing the hack and audit report myself, I'm pretty confident that for now the contract, but once you launch the Monaco market itself, there will be a lot of things related to the NFT and everything. So, other than just the Certik, are you also going to have any bounty programs or something wherein identify the bugs and everything and make it more secure?
Sure. Yeah. That's a great idea. It has been proposed to us by actually one of our mods that works in cybersecurity. So we definitely would love to do something like that. We'll have to create. As we build out the Monaco Market website, I think one of the pages should be about something like that, because absolutely, if someone came to us and told us about this bug, then we would have avoided this. And look, we lost $1 million. It was worth $1 million to know this information. So, of course, it's valuable for us to know, and we would be willing to compensate someone for that. So, absolutely. We are subscribed to Certik's Skynet, so they continually look for things. But I would love for the community to also be engaged and involved, because we're all in this together, as investors or as the developers, or, we're all in this trying to build something together. And I would love for the community to be as involved as possible.
And is Rainer on call today, or is it only?
I'm sorry?
Rainer.
Oh no,
Oh,
unfortunately, I wasn't able to make
yeah.
it. It's a little bit late in Germany today. For the following ones, we're going to do this earlier. It's just that,
Yeah, it's a little late over there.
yeah, remember, we're in, you know, the difference between Nick and Reiner is like 9 hours.
Yeah, I'm in Los
Yeah, it's
Angeles,
like
Paul's in New York.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 2 a.m. in India right now. But I really didn't want to
Ooh.
miss this.
Oh
Oh
my.
my God, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're definitely going to do it earlier next time.
yeah,
I think the best time would be around noon or maybe like 12:30 because I figure the next time we do this, it'll be on a Monday. We have like our big weekly calls where we talk about everything every Monday morning, and then we're talking obviously throughout the week and we're all working. But I think after the Monday call, we'll have a clear idea of where we're at, and then we could have a call like this to kind of give you guys like a synopsis of everything that's happened. So realistically, I think that's how it would go. So like 12:30, the next one, not 3 o'clock.
that would be great. And one last question, Paul. I know I have asked too many questions already, but
It's all good.
yeah.
It's all good.
Any ideas of like mainstream marketing? Like, say, someday can we expect to see you or Nick or someone talking in like say CNBC or
Oh,
Bloomberg or I mean, is
oh,
that on the
oh
cards?
yeah,
Or,
We definitely have we can definitely tap into our network and do that. I think it's
yeah.
just it's about the right timing.
hmm
So we're very anxious to ramp up the marketing efforts. It's just we're kind of step by step process right now as we initially go through the relaunch. So.
Yeah, I also think that like with us, we've done so much targeted advertising because when we started doing this, we've made some like with the marketing. We did a lot of mainstream marketing in the beginning, and that didn't yield anything. You have to be so targeted to get like the crypto audience, especially when it comes to raising funds and getting the first people. Because it's way easier to sell the idea of diversifying your crypto portfolio to someone that already has a crypto portfolio and trying to sell someone that doesn't even understand what NFTs
Yeah.
are. That look, those NFTs are worth money because people make them worth money. These NFTs are worth money because there's an established community for 50 years, 100 years, hundreds of years that has assigned value to these things. So it's really about the expressing the maturity in the market. I actually believe in 2022 physical NFTs are going to be huge. I've already started seeing it, at different conferences and even talking to some of our dealer partners. They've even told me about this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially the people that work in collectibles.
We're already seeing some of our partners trying to get into it themselves. So there's definitely the movement is the ship is moving. So it's very exciting and reassuring. So
yeah, definitely. Any other questions from anyone else? Now is the time. Even if it's mean, it's all good. I get it.
I mean, you haven't been able to move forward today because you haven't secured the liquidity, right? To replace the liquidity.
That's right.
that's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's the most important thing in order to take the next step, right? So you mentioned 2/3 of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2 weeks from now, how confident are you that I'll have the liquidity, we can launch version 2 and airdrop?
So there's a few things. We have a number of like warm leads. Some of these folks, again, the holiday is killing me. People are away. People don't want to talk business. Or sometimes you have to talk to like a couple folks, and then I'm only talking to one person. So these like hindrances are really what have, again, we made progress. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we haven't raised any money. It's just that we haven't been able to get all of it. And I do anticipate in the next 2 weeks, we make significant progress, both in terms of getting the funds from the right folks. Also, there are some people that are not really in crypto that are coming in that need to get money online. There's a little bit of that. But, we promised that we would do the liquidity 1 for 1, so that means we need to raise $1,029,000. And, as much as I wish I could snap my fingers and have it, we've made some progress. And what's interesting is some of the first people that wanted to come on board were people that already are existing investors. So first, let me thank those individuals that are, participating, and know that we're first targeting individuals that really see our big picture. It's not just someone that sees like, oh, let me shark these guys for the best deal we can. Because we have gotten some of those offers that we have not taken. I'm trying my best to make the best deals possible to raise these funds. But we're not all the way there, but we're getting ever closer, and that is absolutely probably the highest priority right now. But the development of the marketplace and the business development of making sure that we have the right items on the marketplace, those are really important also. So we're trying to do everything simultaneously. That's why it's taking a little bit of time.
So, to get this additional liquidity, what are they getting in return? Is it more CollectCoin, some sort of stake in the company?
So,
good question.
Of course. Yeah, great question. So we're basically doing OTC deals for our founders tokens. The founders are the ones that messed up. We're the ones that have to bear the burden. I'm not going to take partnership or marketing or operations tokens for this. That's not what that's for. So we're selling it ourselves, talking to folks that are interested in the project. If I could take out a loan, I would take out a loan. It's just like, this is not the easiest thing to collateralize. So we're talking to a number of folks, and again, some of these guys are very crypto competent. They like what we're doing. This is the first time to the public that we've shared so much about our designs and the development, but we have shared a number of this stuff with some of these prospective investors as well, because they need to know where exactly we're at. And that's why we felt it was so important to share it with the community, is because if we're already sharing this with new investors, the existing investors should know this also. So we are talking to a lot of different people every day. As I mentioned before, I have a dinner meeting with someone after this. So I don't stop, as much as I can. I'm talking to people night and day. I talk a lot. Any other questions?
The marketplace is live. Will there be some third-party independent audit which regularly publishes some report saying that yes, this particular object actually exists in their vault? Or
it's a good question. So this is interesting.
Let me give you the context about why I'm asking this. If you take some stable coins today, I don't want to name any coin, but the biggest allegation against them is they don't actually hold the funds which they are using to back the stable coin.
Yeah. So I think our model, it can't, the only situations where you could do that with our model is if you don't allow redemption, which, by the way, when you start fractionalizing, unless one person owns all the shares, you can't redeem. So the only way I can see in our marketplace to do something like that is if it's on the fractionalization part. So we've toyed with some ideas where we could put trackers on the items and then you can see where they're at. I don't know if we're going to do that for a little while. That's a good question. We haven't yet thought of
but get some kind of independent audit firm which will just audit you say once in a year or something, and audit the vault, not exactly.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'd have to look for one of those services, I would say, but we're not opposed to it. Again, never forget, this is a transactional model. If you buy one of our NFTs and you redeem it and we don't send it to you, that's not what this is all about. You have to be able to receive it. So I would say, I would be absolutely interested in doing something like that. Just find the right company. Because look, especially if we get into something like that one partnership where they want to hold on to the items and they want to sell the NFTs and they want to display the items, those items better be in those display cases. So that's why we're not launching with something like that, or at least not unless we have the exact flow figured out where buyers can't get scammed, sellers can't get scammed, sellers can't scam. We're very anti-fraud here.
Yes. Yeah. We're the victims of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Paul. Paul,
Yes.
Akshay here, sorry. Before you go to next question, I saw interesting question in chat section, okay,
Sure.
posted by RT. That person was asking that can we, as a private coin investor, provide liquidity to replace the funds as an extra alternative investment with monetary incentives?
Well, yeah. So there's two ways. Are you referring to like buying some of these tokens that we're offering to provide the liquidity pool, or are you talking about once we launch to provide the pair to collect some of those fees?
Maybe that person asked for the like incentive part, adding liquidity pooling kind of a thing.
So, okay, I'll
Like
answer
similar
both
to staking.
situations. Well, I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Similar to staking, I believe, what that person's asked.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, you could always add liquidity to any token that you have, but you have to have the other pair. So that means that if you have $100 in CollectCoin and you want to add to a liquidity pool, you have to add $100 in BNB because that's the pair that we're on. And then you would collect a part of the fees that are generated when we're doing when we're trading. So I'll tell you that, we blocked our liquidity, one, but I was paying attention to how much money in fees we were generating. We were generating thousands of dollars in fees from the trade of CollectCoin when we launched. I want to say in the first hour and a half, it was like $7,000 or something like that. It was something.
Yeah.
And then we traded for hours after that. So I definitely think there's some value in that. If they wanted to do that, or if they wanted to invest into the token to help us raise the liquidity pool and have like some kind of built-in upside, we could talk about that also. I would say just DM me, I'll admit yesterday I was not checking a lot of my messages because I was just on, one call after another. But I will get to everybody. And if not, message one of the mods, they'll get to me, yeah, or Nick as well. We're, the support of the community is really what has helped to push us along because this is not easy, guys. Straight up, this is not easy. There are hard times, but it's the support of you guys that really make this bearable. Like to keep pushing when it's the holidays and you're just like, how can I move this along? It doesn't escape our minds 24/7. Nick and I talk about this all day. So when I'm not on the other calls, obviously, but yeah, we're pushing. We really are. But yeah, so there are those two options. I guess you could do that for your CollectCoin prior to the launch, but I'm gonna look into some other options. Some like, I know the founder of some protocols that are all about yield farming and just to understand that space a little bit better. And discuss it with Reiner obviously and see like what it is that we can build, because we do try to build all of our technology in house. Love it or hate it, everything that we have, it's all
custom.
proprietary.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Or maybe I can review the chat. Okay, so someone. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So about the shipping fees, when you redeem your physical item to get it shipped, or the shipping fees going to be included for the total of
They can't.
object
So
you're going to buy, or is
no. So this is the thing. When someone redeems an NFT, there are a number of fees that are going to be incurred. One, the shipping fee is inclusive of other things too. So one of the incentives, one of the benefits of trading on this platform is that you don't have to pay those fees. And I think a significant amount of folks may not redeem their NFTs, but if they do, you will have to pay shipping wherever you are in the world. And because of the kinds of items we're dealing with, the entire value must be declared because it has to be insured for the full value. When things leave the vault, you don't know what happens. I mean, I've sold thousands of items, and within the US, I've only had maybe one or two items ever have a problem, but I had those one or two instances. But internationally, this is a different story. When you're dealing with some Eastern European countries or Asia, the Middle East, or like even like army bases, those AFBs, ABOs, or APO, something like that. Those you don't even know what's happening. So we have to insure these things properly, and the shipping fees would be extra. But you could pay for them with crypto. We'd be able to kind of make sure that this is kind of a seamless experience, and we're going to use traditional shipping methods like UPS or FedEx. Based on my own personal experience with the post office, I'm not really interested in dealing with them because things get lost. I've never lost an item with UPS or FedEx, but I have lost items with USPS, the post office. So it just depends on the individual. We probably provide some options. There are some shipping APIs that we can integrate where they'll allow you to create a label, and you'll be able to provide the address. So again, if you're just trading items on the platform, you don't have to provide us an address. You don't have to provide us that much information. But once you want something, I need to know who you are and where it's going, so that we can accurately make sure that we send it to you and the right amount of fees are assessed. Because the worst thing is if you redeem this NFT and it gets lost. And dealing with that, nobody wants that, least of all us. So we need to make sure that you are protected. And also, like, shipping fees are not the same. To send something to China is not the same as it is to send it to Chinatown. So it really just depends.